Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 3, Text 9. And the chapter is entitled The Lord's Pastimes Out of Vrindavan. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tasva Patyanya Janayat Atma Tulyani Sarvata Ekaikasyam Dasa Dasa Prakrite Vibhushaya Tasva Patyanya Janayat Tulyani Sarvata Ekaikasyam Dasa Dasa Prakriti Vibhushaya Tasu unto them Apatyani offspring Ajanayat begot Atmatulyani all like himself Sarvata in all respects Ekasyam in each and every one of them Dasa 10 Dasa 10 Prakriti for expanding himself Vibhushaya so desiring. Translation. Just to expand himself according to his transcendental features, the Lord begot in each and every one of them 10 offspring with exactly his own qualities. Please repeat. Just to expand himself according to his transcendental features, the Lord begot in each and every one of them 10 offspring with exactly his own qualities. So for this verse there's no purport, so we'll go on to text 10. Kalamagata Salvatin Anikai Runada Taparam Ajikanat Swayam Divyam Sapam Sam Teja Adisat. Translation. Kaliyavana, the king of Magadha, and Salva attacked the city of Mathura. But when the city was encircled by their soldiers, the Lord refrained from killing them personally, just to show the power of his own men. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. After the death of Kamsa, when Mathura was encircled by the soldiers of Kaliyavana, Jarasandha and Salva, the Lord seemingly fled from the city, and thus he is known as Ranchor, or one who fled from fighting. Actually, the fact was that the Lord wanted to kill them through his agency of his own men, devotees like Muchikunda and Bhima. Kaliyavana and the king of Magadha were killed by Muchikunda and Bhima respectively, who acted as agents of the Lord. By such acts, the Lord wanted to exhibit the prowess of his devotees, as if he were personally unable to fight, but his devotees could kill them. The relationship of the Lord with his devotees is a very happy one. Actually, the Lord descends at the request of Brahma in order to kill all the undesirables of the world. But to divide the share of glory, he sometimes engages his devotees to take credit. The Battle of Kurukshetra was designed by the Lord himself, but just to give credit to his devotee Arjuna, Nimitta Matram Bhava Savasachin. He played the part of the charioteer, while Arjuna was given the chance to play the fighter, and thus become the hero of the Battle of Kurukshetra. What he wanted to do himself by his transcendental plans, he executes through his confidential devotees. This is the way of the Lord's mercy towards his pure, unalloyed devotees. Translation. Kalyavana, the king of Magadha, and Salva attacked the city of Mathura. But when the city was encircled by their soldiers, the Lord refrained from killing them personally, just to show the power of his own men. Om Jnana Timanandasya, Jnana Jnana Shalakaya, Chakshur Militam Yena, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So here we're reading about three individuals: Kalyavana, the king of Magadha, whose name is Jarasandha, and Salva. And all three of them, they attacked the city of Mathura, which is a residence of Lord Krishna and the Yadu dynasty. So the first person we're going to talk about is the king of Magadha, and his name is Jarasandha. So after Kamsa was killed by Krishna, Kamsa had two wives called Asti and Prapti, and both of them, they went to their father, whose name was Jarasandha, and they explained to him what had happened. And Jarasandha was very angry and he was very sorrowful, and he wanted to take revenge on the Yadu dynasty, and especially Krishna. So then he decided that he was going to attack the city of Mathura. So to attack the city of Mathura, he gathered 23 Akshahini divisions of armies. So I looked it up, and an Akshahini division, it's very big. It consists of 21,870 chariots, 21,870 elephants, 109,650 infantry, and 65,600 cavalry. So this is what Jarasandha bought, and this is times 23. So when Lord Krishna, he saw that this army had gathered and it had laid siege to his city, and he saw that his citizens, they were terrified, and Krishna was thinking what to do. So then he decided he would kill the army of Jarasandha, but he wouldn't kill Jarasandha himself, because the Lord had a plan, because he knew that Jarasandha, he wouldn't stop there, he'll keep coming back, but he'll also keep bringing armies back. So if we see in the Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 4, verse 8, when the Lord explains the reasons for his coming, he explains Parichanaya sadhunam vinashaya chaduskritam dharma samstapanataya sambhavami yuge yuge. To deliver the pious, to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I myself appear millennium after millennium. So here's an example of that, where the demons are being brought to the Lord. So Jarasandha, he's actually being a very useful instrument for the Lord. So as the Lord was thinking like this, two chariots, they came from the sky. They were actually the Lord's own chariots. And on them there was the chariot driver, and there were the Lord's own weapons as well. And then Lord Krishna said to Balaram, look at all the danger that's come here. We have to destroy these armies of Jarasandha. So he went out of the city, but he only took with him, Krishna and Balaram, they only took a small contingent of army. You see, Jarasandha had a massive army, but Krishna and Balaram, they just took a very small army with them. So when they got out of the city, Jarasandha, he saw the brothers, and he started to insult Krishna, calling him like the lowest of men, the killer of his relatives. And he says, you're just a mere boy, I don't want to fight with you, I'll fight with Balaram instead. And so what happened, the army surrounded Krishna and Balaram, and they started to rain so many arrows down on Krishna's army, and it was tormenting the army. So what Krishna did, he got his bow, which is called saranga, and he shot arrows, many arrows from his bow, and it's described that the shooting of his arrows is described as raining down blazing rings of fire. And by this shooting of the arrows, the Lord, he killed all of the 23 Yakshahini divisions of Jarasandha and left only Jarasandha because he had his plan. And when Jarasandha was just standing there by himself, Balaram caught hold of him, and with the noose of Varuna, he was tying up Jarasandha with other ropes as well. But Krishna told him to stop, and he said, just let him be. So they let Jarasandha go. And Jarasandha was pretty ashamed. I mean, for a warrior to come into battle and just to be caught and let go, it's actually a very shameful thing. Either warriors, they win or they die. There's not really anything else that is really expected. So when Jarasandha went, he thought, well, I'm going to go and perform austerities now, this is my life's over. But when he was going, he came across all these kings, and the kings, they said to him, no, it's okay, don't do that. Look, you just got defeated, it's just your karma, it's not so devastating. So he decided to go back to his own kingdom. But then Jarasandha, 17 times more, he came back to Mathura, and with 17 times the forces of the Yadu dynasty, who were very powerful, they defeated all of Jarasandha's army, killing them all, and they just left Jarasandha by himself again. And then at the 18th time, when the battle was about to be, it was going to happen, there was a barbarian warrior, his name was Kaliyavana, and he appeared on the battlefield. And with him, he laid siege to the city of Mathura. So with Kaliyavana, he brought with him 30 million barbarian warriors as well. And this Kaliyavana is a very fierce soldier. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he quotes from the Vishnu Purana, and he tells us of Kaliyavana's history. So once there was a Kshatriya whose name was Gargya, and his brother, he insulted him and he called him a eunuch. And the Yadavas were there, and they were like laughing. And so this Gargya was very insulted, and he left the place. And he was thinking, I really want to have a son who's going to cause terror to these Yadavas. So what this Gargya did, he went and started performing penance to Lord Shiva. And what he did for 12 years, he was performing penance, and he was eating powdered iron as well. And after the 12 years were over, he received his benediction. And so then Gargya, he begot a son called Kaliyavana, who is described, he possessed the fury of Lord Shiva in his aspect of Mahakala. So Kaliyavana was very strong, and he one day saw Narada, and he asked Narada, who are the strongest kings of the world? And Narada told him it's a Yadu dynasty, they're the strongest. So Kaliyavana decided to go and fight with them. So when Lord Krishna and Balaram saw Kaliyavana there, Krishna is very kind. He didn't want to break the benediction of Lord Shiva, who gave him the benediction that he would be able to strike terror into the hearts of the Yadavas, so he wasn't going to kill him immediately. So at the same time, Krishna was thinking, okay, now Kaliyavana, he's attacking Mathura, but if we start fighting with Kaliyavana, then Jarasandha will come. And if Jarasandha, he sees us, we're distracted now, then he may attack our citizens and take them all away. So to avoid this, we need to protect the citizens. So Krishna, he decided to build an impenetrable city, and that city was the city of Dwarka. So in the sea, the Lord created the city of Dwarka, and he got Vishwakarma, who's the architect of the demigods, to come and build the city. And at night time, when the citizens of Mathura were asleep, Krishna, he transferred them to the city of Dwarka, so they were safe there. And so, I mean, this was done very fast. It's not like it took long to build the city. So then, during this time, Balaram, he had been protecting the city of Dwarka from the attack of Kaliyavana. So then what Krishna did, Krishna came out of the city of Mathura and he started to run. And Kaliyavana, he ran after him. He was trying to catch the Lord to attack him, but he couldn't catch the Lord because the Lord is very, he just can't be touched by sinful people. Even it's explained how the yogis, the mystic yogis, are trying to capture the Lord through their meditation, but they can't capture the Lord. And what to talk about a very sinful person like Kaliyavana. And so this Kaliyavana, he was insulting the Lord and saying all sorts of things about him. But the Lord, one of his qualities is he's very renowned. So Krishna wasn't, didn't affect him at all. So he kept going and Kaliyavana was running after him. So then Krishna went into a cave. And it was dark in the cave and Kaliyavana followed him. And then Kaliyavana, he saw on the ground, there was a man sleeping on the ground. I was thinking, oh, this is Krishna. Krishna's here on the ground, and he was very angry, so he with all his might, he kicked the man on the ground. And the man on the ground, of course it wasn't Krishna, he woke up and he was looking around who kicked him. And he saw this is Kaliyavana. And so this man, he was very angry, and with the power of his glance, he burnt to ashes this demon Kaliyavana. So this personality who was lying on the ground, his name was Muchukunda. And the story of Muchukunda is, Muchukunda was a great warrior. He was born in the Ishvaku dynasty. And the demigods, they had asked for help from Muchukunda to help them defeat the demons because they were constantly being attacked by the demons. And constantly he was always being asked, can you help us, can you help us? So for a long, long time, Muchukunda, he was fighting on behalf of the demigods and he was defeating the demons. Then when the demigods, they obtained Kartikeya, who's the son of Lord Shiva, as their commander-in-chief, they said to Muchukunda, okay, it's all right now, you don't need to protect us anymore, but we would like to give you a boon. But you can ask us for anything you want, but you can't ask for liberation, because liberation can only be granted by the Supreme Lord. Because something you don't have, you can't give it to anyone else, and the demigods, they don't have liberation, so they can't give it to other people. So Muchukunda, he was very tired, and he said, okay, can you please grant me the boon that I can just sleep for a very long time, and if anyone wakes me up, that I'll be able to burn them with the power of my glance. And it's explained how indirectly this was, Kaliyavana said this indirectly to Indra, because he was thinking, if Indra keeps waking him up again and again, then it's not going to be good. So like, if he knows that, okay, if I wake him up, then I'm going to be burnt to ashes, and he's not going to do it. So that's why he went to sleep for a long time. And we can see also, like, with this granting of boons as well, we can also remember that in the story of Hiranyakashipu, when he did his austerities to please Lord Brahma for a very long time, and Brahma appeared to him, and Brahma asked him, okay, so what boon do you want? And the first thing he said is, I want the boon of immortality. And Lord Brahma's like, I can't grant you the boon of immortality. I'm not immortal, so how can I make you immortal? And then he granted, and then Hiranyakashipu, of course, he tried to get around these boons to achieve the same goal, but the Lord is so much more clever that he kept Brahma's boon intact as well, but he also killed Hiranyakashipu. Then the Lord, he appeared before Muchukunda, and he said to him, look, previously you were my devotee, and you prayed for my association. So now I've appeared before you and I'm granting you that request. And so Muchukunda, he offered some very, very beautiful prayers to the Lord because he was a very advanced soul. So as is explained in the purport, we see that Krishna didn't personally kill these individuals, Jarasandha and Kaliyavana. Kaliyavana was killed by Muchukunda, and actually Jarasandha was killed by Bhima, who is one of the brothers of the Pandavas. And he wasn't killed on the battlefield either, he was killed in a wrestling match, and they were both very powerful warriors. And it's 13 or 14 days they fought in this battle, and in the end, by Krishna's mercy, Bhima was able to kill this Jarasandha, who was very, very powerful. So here we can see a couple of examples of how Krishna, he engages his devotees in fighting, but he gives them the credit. And it's mentioned how in the Battle of Kurukshetra, Krishna, he gave the credit to his devotee Arjuna. Arjuna was the fighter who killed the man in Kurukshetra, but Krishna, he took the very, very humble position of being the chariot driver. And you know, what is the position of a chariot driver? He takes orders from the fighter. So Krishna is very, very humble, and Krishna, there's a very beautiful love between Krishna and his devotees. Like the devotees, these are pure devotees we're talking about. They've purchased Krishna through their love. And but the devotee, even though the devotee is given this credit by Krishna, the devotee never ever thinks he is the doer. The devotee always thinks this is Krishna's mercy. Krishna is so kind that he's helping, he is achieving all these things, and I'm just the instrument in his service. A devotee always remains humble, because this is humility. It's the quality of a devotee that's very dear to the Lord. And we know that because even in the prayers of the Shikshashtakam, the prayers that Lord Chaitanya left us, which were only 8, one of the verses is all about humility. And Lord Chaitanya, he explains that this quality of humility should be worn like a garland around one's neck. So now also, the fact that Krishna can be purchased with love, we have a very wonderful example. This is the month of Kartik, and this is the month where Mother Yashoda binds Krishna, and we're celebrating this. We're celebrating Mother Yashoda's love. So I'd like to actually, first of all, I'd like to share. This is actually very beautiful. It's a song from Gopal Champu. It's by Jiva Goswami. Mother Yashoda, she loves Krishna so much, but whatever she's doing, she's always thinking of Krishna. And while she's churning butter, she comprises her own songs to glorify Krishna. Like Mother Yashoda, she's a queen, and Nanda Maharaj is the king. And normally in the court you have bards. And the bards, they compose songs and poetry to glorify the king and queen and the family. But Mother Yashoda, she composes her own songs. So this is one of the songs she composes. And this is just the English I'll read. O tilak ornament of Gokul's king's dynasty, pouring delight into their eyes, you bring endless joy to the pious folk of Raj. The cowherd people were overjoyed by the celestial observance of your birthday, and after Putana died, Gokul's king performed further auspicious rites for your protection. Impetuous as you are, you topple the cart, and some days later, the Supreme Lord kindly rescued you from the whirlwind Trinavata and returned you to us. Our beautiful lotus-eyed child, who gracefully crawls in the palace courtyard, and who is also an expert and playful dancer. Although a handsome protector of cows, you are a greedy liar. when jousting in the playful quarrel with the elder gopis. O Krishna, of insatiable thirst to play with friends, quickly come to your mother and make me happy, do not delay. Although your divine potencies seem to fulfill the three worlds with wonder, I continue to pray to Lord Hari that you will never grow old or die, and that you continue to bring us happiness, O Krishna. So that's from the Gopal Champu by Jiva Goswami. And also I'd like to, because this is the month of Kartik, I'd like to share a passage from this book. It's called Sri Damodar Janani. It's a very beautiful book by my spiritual master, Shivaram Swami, and Sri Damodar Janani means Lord Damodar's mother. So this book is all glorification of this pastime of Damodar, and especially of Krishna's mother. So this part is after Krishna's broken the pot of yogurt and stolen the butter, and Mother Yashoda has decided she's going to punish him. So he's running away, and this is Mother Yashoda, she's running after him. So we're just going to read a passage. Krishna was perplexed by his own conduct. Why am I running away? After all, who could catch me? Even the yogis who meditate on me through excruciating penance and over a long time only mold their minds to form like my own. Yet I personally remain far from them. If they cannot catch me, then why should I fear this gopi? Panting, Krishna answered his own question, because she holds the secret of unconditional love, and that love can control, catch, and punish me. And then Mother Yashoda was still at a good distance from Krishna. Although the force of her loving desire bridled him, neither could she catch him, neither could he escape. It was a tug of war in which they were, for the time being, evenly matched. In the future, the demon Kaliyavana would run after Krishna, never to reach him because of his own sinful and antagonistic ways. But Yashoda was neither sinful nor antagonistic. She was pure and loving. There is a difference, saw Krishna. I did not have to run from Kaliyavana, I walked leisurely, but now I have to run. And if I do not, she will catch me. How is that possible? It was possible by Yashoda's unparalleled good fortune, which surpassed the good fortune of all devotees. What to speak of the asceticism of yogis and demons? She could hold Krishna on her lap and breastfeed him. And when she so asked, he would dance to her songs. Why then she could not cause him to run? When there is a gale, travelers are swept forward by the wind. Similarly, I feel that I am in a gale whose wind is forcing me to flee. Yes, Krishna was being propelled forward by a gale that was the gusty wind of Yashoda's love. As for his mother, Yashoda thought that she would catch him with the very next step. Yet he continued to remain one step away. While she was supreme love personified, he was supreme independence personified. Both were supreme in their own right, but were determined, yet neither could gain ground over the other. No matter how much they tried, mother and son remained one arm distant. Never any closer, never any further. Run as she might, she could not get closer. Run as he might, he could not get further. For Yashoda, Krishna was an ordinary boy, perhaps just a little more than ordinary, but her son nonetheless, a gopa in their village. And her conviction of his humanness was so unshakable that it shook the tree of his divinity to its roots. But the arm's length between them remained. Stop running, she called out. Stop, O foremost of the world's thieves. Wide-eyed with fear, Krishna looked over his shoulder to see the image of maternal love. For a moment, the attractiveness of his mother arrested his movement. Her effulgent beauty, her full breasts, her broad hips, all radiated a magnetic affection that caught his heart and made him falter. It seemed that he would stop. And just when he was within Yashoda's reach, the wind advised, turn away. As he did, Krishna was freed from his mother's magnetic attraction, and momentum returned to his legs, and he ran once again. Once again, they were arm's length apart. Yashoda Devi was determined to discipline her son, and so she followed swiftly after him. But soon she began to feel the weight of her large hips and breasts and a rising fatigue in her legs. In a physically hampered condition, beads of perspiration falling from her arm and face became mentally distressed. When will I tire faster? Will I tire faster than he? Using her superior intelligence, beautiful Yashoda applied psychological intimidation to compensate for her weariness. Stop, stop, you thief and liar. How dare you run from your mother? Stop where you are and stop carrying on so. Yashoda's order did not fall on deaf ears. Krishna had never disobeyed his mother, but then neither had she ever threatened him with a stick. Mother Yashoda, she's actually got Nanda Maharaja's stick in her hand. And it's not that she's going to hit Krishna, but she's just scaring him. Slowly somewhat, but keeping his distance, he turned to call over his shoulder, I will stop if you drop your stick. Yashoda sensed a measure of success from her command and an equal measure of surrender in his answer. She slowed, happy to ease her tired limbs. In response, Krishna stopped, keeping a respectful distance while casting wary glances at Yashoda, wiping her brow. If you are afraid of punishment, then why did you break my butter churn and ransack my storehouse? He looked at his mother from the corner of his eyes. Krishna's voice wavered. I will never do it again. Then looking at the stick, he added, please drop the stick. Loving devotion transformed Yashoda Devi's mind into a temple of amazement, in which the presiding deity of this never-been seen before form of Krishna, a Krishna full of fear. But when, with stick in hand, she tried to approach her deity, it ran away. Again, they remained at arm's length. However, this contest was not just between mother and son. There was a third participant, that was Yogamaya. And Yogamaya decided that it was time to offer oblations into the fire of Mother Yashoda's aspirations. Divinely inspired by her son's own potency, knitting her eyebrows, the queen again chased after naughty Krishna. The brief respite had refreshed Yashoda, but like yogis and jnanis, she was unable to capture him. Yet driven by love, she continued to try, and as she did, the momentum of her movement caused her garland hair not to come undone and its flowers to fall at her feet. Trying to atone for having tattled on her, the wind made the flowers fall, and behind the queen offering Pushpanjali. In truth, the demigods had orchestrated this shower of flowers in an effort to worship the Lord's mother. Although there was only a handful of flowers in her hair, by the demigod's desire, a continual stream of petals softened the ground where she stepped, and another stream worshipped her footprints, the most sacred of sacred places. Although thoughts of Mother Yashoda's stick distressed Krishna to the extreme, he could not help but smile at the demigods' worship. They have done well. Seeing his mother's redoubled spirit, Krishna sourced a psychological intimidation of his own, with long wailing sounds and showers of false tears. He publicized his tale of woe, thinking Mother will be intimidated if I attract the attention of the neighbors. But Mother Yashoda was not intimidated in the least. To the contrary, she loudly rebuked him. Who are you to complain, O best of thieves? Running as fast as she could, Yashoda tried to close the distance between them, but no matter how she tried, she could not quite reach him. Somehow it appeared as if there was a gust of wind, sometimes that there was a blur of monsoon blue, sometimes that there was a small cloud followed by a larger cloud. Yet always there was a picture of beauty and a treat for the eyes. Suddenly Krishna changed his random maneuvers and headed for the compound gates. It was his last refuge. Where is shelter for me in this world? But Yashoda Devi was intent and followed him. She made known her intention, and with the whoosh whoosh of the swinging cane. Seeing his mother's persistent anger, running as fast as he could, Krishna, who was tiring, called out in distress, "Oh mother, oh sinless one, please drop that stick. Do not punish me with it. If you drop it, I will come to you." Weighing in balance his plea and her own fatigue, Yashoda made as if to throw away the stick, while actually hiding it behind her. I have thrown it away. Deceived, Krishna slowed, and by turning towards her, slowed even more. With Yashoda still running at full speed, the mystical arm's distance vanished, and she wrapped her right hand right around his right wrist. Now you are caught, rascal, he was. Unattainable by the prayers of brahmanas, the speculation of jnanis, or the meditation of yogis. Krishna was now arrested by the love of Mother Yashoda. After all, he was just a plaything in the drama of her motherly affection. For a moment, mother or son neither spoke. Seeing these developments, demigods marveled. They were immortal, yet they were wise, but they failed to comprehend what they saw. Initially, Brahma and Shiva were upset to see Krishna exhibit fear of his mother, but now they were completely bewildered to see her capture him. If Krishna was so susceptible to a gopi, how could he really protect them? Indifferent to the concerns of heaven, Yashoda paused to catch her breath. The fine locks curling over her face dripped diamond tears of perspiration, and her milk-moistened blouse heaved from deep breathing. Her loosened hair hung over her shoulders like peahen's feathers, and her flushed face showed signs of exhaustion. Yet the touch of her son's hand filled her with an exhilaration that refreshed not only her limbs but her very being. How special he is, she thought. That he was, but special as he was, Krishna was worried. Under the control of his mother's hand, he whimpered, "Mother, please do not beat me." And with his free hand, he rubbed his tear-filled eyes with a palm resembling the delicate petals of a lotus. With choked voice, Krishna's beautiful mouth emitted a stream of sweet, indistinct words that shamed the nectar cascading from a full moon. Fully realizing that he was helpless in his mother's grasp, his mumbling transformed into sobs. Yashoda thought, in his disturbed condition, this boy is likely to do anything. He is so strong-willed that he may even run away to the forest like Dhruva. Better I secure him to an immovable object. Until he is composed, I will tie him down. So any comments or questions? Questions?
Thank you, Srimati, for the class. You're talking about how Krishna wanted to give credit to, his devotees, and it made me think of how Krishna wanted to give credit to Srila Prabhupada, because he could have made everything very easy for Srila Prabhupada, but Prabhupada underwent so many difficulties and austerities. I won't list them all now, but I'm sure most of you would know them all, just to please Krishna and distribute Krishna consciousness around the world. So in order for Krishna to give Prabhupada the glories, he put these obstacles there that he could conquer over them. So in that way, Krishna's giving credit to his pure devotee.
Thank you very much for that, Krishna Prabhu. That's a beautiful point. Any other questions or comments? Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.